Welcome back everyone. Though I said that we would be publishing the game on itch.io in the previous video, I'm going to postpone that just a little by showing you how to make a dash move for the player character. Now of course you don't need to add this to the game if you don't want, but it will add an extra fun little something to the game and also help the player escape a tight spot. So I'll double click on my player script to open it up inside of Visual Studio and begin to code out this dash move. I'll start by creating a few variables, one of type float called start dash time, which will be public, and another float called dash time, this one private. We'll be using these to set how long our dash lasts. Then I'll make a third and final float variable called extra speed. This is how much power the dash has, or in other words, how fast will the character run when dashing. And lastly, I'll create a private bool variable called isDashing, which will check whether or not the player is dashing, and if he is, then it will stop him from performing multiple dashes at once. So inside of the update function, I'll make an if statement that checks whether the player hits space or not. You can of course use any other key that you like to get the player dashing. If he is, then I'll add onto the player speed that extra speed amount. And I'll also set isDashing to true. Now I don't want the player constantly moving at this speed, so I'm going to check with another if statement down here whether dash time is less or equal to 0. If it is, then that means the dash is over. So I'll set isDashing equal to false and decrease extra speed from speed so that it returns to its default value. I'll also make sure that we decrease dash time with time.delta time here so that the dash does eventually come to an end. And now all I need to do is set dash time equal to start dash time when the player hits space so that the dash starts and works. And lastly, I'll check that the player isn't already dashing before letting him dash again, and also check here that he is dashing before running these two lines of code. If not, this line of code will always run and speed will be decreased of extra speed amounts every single frame, and we certainly don't want that. Okay, I'll save the script and head back to Unity. And here I can tweak two values, this one which dictates how long the dash lasts, and this one which tells how fast and powerful the dash will be. I recommend you press play and test out different values until you find something that works for you. For me, having the dash last 0.1 seconds and add 100 to the character's speed works really nicely. And that's it. You can of course also spawn a particle effect when the player hits space to dash to make it feel more impactful and interesting. Or you can just jump into the next video where we'll be publishing the game to itch.io.